Last week's dual subnet single router lab was one of the simplest routed networks we can possibly have. It was comprised simply of two stub networks joined together by a single router. Once all the devices had the proper IP addresses set on them, routing just happened. PC0 here was able to ping PC3. And this worked because the router, which makes the routing decisions, knows about and has an interface on each of the two networks. Gigabit Ethernet 00 on network A, Gigabit Ethernet 01 on network B. This week's lab adds a bit of complexity to the environment by adding an additional router and an additional network. So now we have three networks. We have our original network A stub network, our original network B stub network, each of these with their own router, and then a third network connecting the two routers together. In this scenario, without any additional configuration, we cannot ping from network A to network B by traversing network C. And this is because the routers don't know about the opposite networks. Meaning router R1 knows about network A because it has an interface and an IP on it. It knows about network C because it has an interface and an IP on it, but it doesn't know about network B. Likewise, R2 knows about B and knows about network C, but does not know anything about network A. Some mechanism must be in place to tell the routers about the networks they cannot see. When a human being, when a network administrator manually connects to this router and tells it about the networks that it can't see and how to get there, that's referred to as static routing. Contrast this to dynamic routing, which we'll cover next week, where this process is automated and the routers exchange the information with each other. How do I enable static routing? On each router, an administrator must log into it and manually tell it about the network it cannot see. So we would have to get onto R1, tell it about the existence of network B, and tell it how to get to network B. Likewise, we would also have to get onto router R2, tell it about network A, and tell it how to get to network A. Network communication is not possible until all of the routers in the environment know about all of the subnets they cannot see. This condition is called convergence. Next week, we'll look at dynamic routing protocol.